Hi there, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. This is Andy Ron with Montana Land Source, and this is my short video summary of the Montana Land Report for January 26, 2022. The Montana Land Report goes out every week via email, and you can sign up for that for free at montanalandsource.com, mtlandsource.com, with our free subscription. Early part of the year 2022, it's common at the beginning of the year for sellers and their brokers to reevaluate their listings if they've had properties on the market for a while. And so I am getting those calls asking for help with insight into where the market's going and what to do with property that's been on the market through 2021. As if you've paid attention or seen any of these videos up till now, you've heard me say that I think 2021 will go in the record books as far as a market in the Montana land market. Just an incredible year, incredible volume, just the hottest year we've ever seen in the market. So it's fascinating to me that sellers would go through that market and then have questions about what to do moving forward in 2022. No one knows what's going to happen in 2022, of course, and the indications are still strong. Our market is still strong. Demand is still high. Volume, though, is incredibly low and going lower every week. So it's very interesting. I think many sellers in the Montana land market are very strong. They're in very strong positions. There's not a lot of high motivation on the seller side in the Montana land market, and it hasn't been for a long time. A lot of times sellers will try to tell you they're motivated, but in reality they're motivated at their perceived price for their property. And despite the high demand that we've seen in this market, buyers are savvy and buyers are not highly emotional and they're not throwing money around. Counter to a lot of popular perception, we are seeing a lot of sales selling at less than ask price, not necessarily dramatically less, and we are seeing sales at full ask price for sure. But the normal market functions like paying less than asking price is happening in this market. It's hard to tell or say what might happen in 2022, but what I'm starting to see and feel is that we're just going to see a slowdown. I mean, our volume situation, we're knocking on just over 300 listings in the Montana land market today, and there's usually 500 or 600, even it's been 700 in years past. So our supply situation is just extremely diminished. A lot of sellers are pulling out of the market. Again, at the beginning of the year, a lot of listing agreements are up to be renewed, and quite a few of those listing agreements are not being renewed. These sellers, it's very typical for sellers to want to roll into another property. They want to stay in land ownership, and they need to find replacement property, and replacement property just isn't out there. So I think a lot of them are pulling out of the market, which is exacerbating the supply issue. And again, back to the strength on the seller side, it's just pretty rare, truthfully, to see sellers that are extremely motivated. Obviously sometimes things happen within families or financial situations or whatnot where you get a highly motivated seller, but the reality is that is pretty rare. Sellers are pretty strong. They're in strong financial positions. They have strong ideas about what their land is worth. And again, to get calls in early 2022 asking about what to do about a listing that did not sell in 2021, maybe didn't get a lot of activity in 2021. I mean, if your listing did not get activity in 2021, there's clearly an issue, most likely pricing with that property. So just fascinating times in the Montana land market, and the Montana land market in and of itself is fascinating because it often doesn't play by the same rules that you'd expect from markets. A relatively quiet week overall, the last week in the market, 17 total property updates, 1 property back on the market, only 2 new listings, 4 pending sales, 1 price change, and 9 sales. So just a continuation of what we see week after week after week, more properties leaving the market than coming on, and just dwindling supply. The big event in Bozeman coming up next month, February 8th, 9th, 10th. Registration is up for that. Been getting lots of calls on that. It took a while to get that registration up and going, but The event's going to kick off on Tuesday the 10th from 10 to noon with a values presentation. It's the presentation that Clark Wheeler at Norman C. Wheeler and Associates with the Southwest Farm and Ranch Brokers has put on for decades. We're kicking off with that, and then have great continuing education for real estate industry professionals, tax information, legal information, and a class on Thursday on valuing trophy properties. So check that out on the events page at mtlandsource.com. And through that process of preparing for that event, we'll have some new market analysis and market stats closing out 2021 and looking into 2022. Thank you everybody for watching. Enjoy doing these videos for you. You can find these videos on YouTube, on my website at mtlandsource.com, and also Facebook and LinkedIn. Thank you everybody. Have a safe and healthy week.